Warning, the following episode of the Blackwell podcast contains spoilers from all episodes of Life is Strange.
Hi, and welcome to the Blackwell podcast, where we love Life is Strange more than Kate hates sinning. I am here with Jess and Jamie.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
And today we're going to be talking about Kate Marsh. But before we do, we all just want to say thank you so much to everyone for this past week since our Hannah interview. It has been insane. The amount of subscribers we've gotten, the views, just the feedback and the support and the love that we've gotten for doing this. Honestly, I mean, Hannah was incredible. I feel like it's all her, but thank you guys so much for the support that you've given us. And we hope that, you know, we can continue to please.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy week. I mean, because we keep getting, like, email after email because of the notifications we keep getting, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
It's just well, you warm our hearts, seriously.
Yeah, we were not expecting just the turnout that we had at all. And a big thank you to Toby, the community manager,
Yes.
if you're listening, for, you know, using our interview as the Fan Art Friday. Just mind blown. Thank you, everyone, so much. It's been incredible. We also have a little announcement at the end of this episode that we'll talk about.
Yeah, briefly.
Right. But now, let's get into Kate Marsh.
Sounds good.
Oh, Kate.
This precious cinnamon bun.
Oh boy, where to start off? Okay, so to people who don't know, Kate is a... Wait. Spoilers. Yes!
Yeah.
Okay, so as mentioned in the beginning, there will be spoilers from episode 1 to episode 5, so if you haven't played the game, you should do it. If you have played the game, probably play it again so you can support the game. I don't know. Yeah, well, you know, just be warned about these spoilers because they're pretty heavy
Yep.
regarding Kate Marsh. Yeah, so Kate is a Christian, and who was a student of Blackwell Academy. And before the game, she kind of had a little experience in which she's kind of struggling throughout the game, which we learned throughout.
Right.
And that was pretty much that she got drugged, got taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And your goal for the game is pretty much to support her through that.
Moral support.
Yeah. The cinnamon bun.
So we first see her kind of in the classroom. We see her, she's very sullen. She has her head down. And she actually gets a piece of paper thrown at her, which she can view. And that piece of paper says, "We loved your porno video," or something like that.
Yeah.
And so basically what that's talking about, as, you know, sure you know, but it's talking about the video that was taken of her after she had been initially drugged at the Vortex Club party, and apparently she was seen kissing a few members of the Vortex party. This is, of course, what we were just talking about with, you know, what we have to support Kate through the journey. You can talk to her, and you find out, you know, that she's just not doing well at all. She doesn't really want to talk too much, and you know, you go on to you do Max's stuff, and then you go on later to see her being confronted by David just outside of the dormitory, to which you have the option of stepping in or taking a picture. If you step in, of course, this makes it easier to save Kate later on. She'll remember that. If you take the picture, it makes it easier to substantiate your claim with David against him being the one that's responsible for Kate's suicide attempt or suicide. However, we find later that doesn't really mean much. So what probably most of us have done, and probably what you should do, if there is such a thing as what you should do in this game, is step in.
We recommend it highly.
Yep. If you have a soul or a heart, definitely support Kate over David.
Right.
And if you think chronologically, the next time you see Kate is at the ending of episode 1, when she's just crying in a dorm room, which is it's heartbreaking, man. I mean,
yeah.
No one needs to hurt Kate like that, but somebody did. Nathan.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And since we didn't really in episode 2 you have to give, before you give Kate her book, you kind of confront her in the bathroom.
Right.
You just ask how she is, where she asks, hey, can I have my copy of the October Country? And then she's confronted by Victoria.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I wanted to slap Victoria when she was talking to Kate about like that.
I think everybody did.
Like, I'm so glad you set a tongue record on video. I was like, wow, my hand is slowly going towards your face right now, Victoria. And you're given an option whether to erase the link to Kate's video or not, which most of us probably did.
Probably, yeah.
And if you want to make it easier on yourself to save Kate, that's another thing to do.
As well as before you go to Kate to drop off the book, talk to Juliet to stop her sharing the video. Right.
Uh-huh.
That is crucial. Well, in my opinion, it's crucial because less people who see it, they'll probably I'll be forgotten quicker, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it was passed around like crazy amounts of people in the school. I mean, even Warren admits to having watched it a few times.
Even Principal Wells.
Right, Wells has seen it. So naturally, Kate is pretty shaken up by that. Also, too, she mentions that her family might have even seen it. In talking to her. So which is insane. Actually, no, her family has seen it, because if you read letters from her aunt, she's getting kind of ridiculed by her family about it. So
Slut shamed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even her. It wasn't even her fault, really.
No.
And she was.
Yeah.
So this we're jumping around a little bit as far as like chronological order goes, but all this is, we see it come to its big head at the end of episode 2, where you have to save Kate from jumping off the dormitory,
and you can't rewind.
Right.
Nope. Which is probably the kicker to what got to most people in the game. It's like, oh no, I can't rewind. I have to be very careful about this.
Or you just have to keep watching her die over and over and over until you get it right, unless you just kind of give up.
And the way to save her is if you pay close enough attention to when you're in her room, you can find certain clues about her family, about herself, and all that stuff to say to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll help you out greatly. Because... it's like the letter, a postcard from her dad, the picture of her sisters. All of those just add up to Kate being saved.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I believe you have three times that you can essentially say the wrong thing before she jumps. And each time you say the wrong thing, the next option is you have just one right thing that you can say. I believe is the way that works. To be honest, I'm not really quite sure because I made very, very, very difficult, or not difficult, very big efforts to save her. So I think one of the most notable things is one of the more difficult things to remember, at least for me, was exactly the passage from the Bible that steps her back if you get to that point, if it gets escalated to that point.
Yeah.
Do either of you know right offhand? I know it was...
I think it was from Matthew?
Right.
Yeah, Matthew.
I think, yeah.
Hannah mentioned it briefly in the interview.
That's her favorite line of saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's a big one. That's another one that you find in her Bible, looking through her room. Another one, too, is you find a picture to which Max notes something about how happy her sisters look. And so I think also I think you can pick either her sisters or her father when talking about her family.
Yeah,
right.
It seems her dad is the the strongest option to choose to save Kate, and her sisters is kind of like the weaker option because I remember doing one playthrough and I chose the father and it pretty much saved her instantly. When I chose her sisters, it led to the Bible verse thing.
Right.
Which was struggled, but luckily I chose Matthew 11:28.
So, of course, if you don't do this correctly, Kate jumps, to which you have a very heartbreaking scene. And it later goes on to, shows kind of a memorial at Blackwell Academy for Kate. Right? If you do save Kate, then you see people just completely changing their mind. They're starting to feel guilty. You see, Victoria feeling guilty for what she did to Kate, and you see it
with
just
messages on the whiteboards and the candles outside her room, right?
Right, and you see, we'll wait for Kate written around different places, and so really, it sucks really, really badly that it took Kate having to attempt that in order for people to support her. But it's nice seeing that, at least after the fact, people do support her and people kind of realize what they did. So.
But like it was said in the game, though, they still didn't really learn the lesson. Because in episode 4 in the Vortex Club, there's a girl passed out on the couch, and no one's taking care of her or anything.
Right.
Lying there. So pretty much they just kind of forget about Kate and then kind of move on to the next situation. Really.
Yeah. And it would just kind of go around and around again, I feel like.
Yeah. It's an endless cycle.
So after this, the next time that we actually see Kate in person is in episode 4.
The best scene
in the hospital. It is. It really is one of the best scenes in the game. It's very heartwarming. It's you get to see her happy. You get to see her smiling. She's kind of back to what you can imagine Kate's normal personality is. Very jovial and lighthearted. You see she's drawing again.
Yeah, drawing the good stuff instead of those really weird sketches that she did.
Right. Instead of the depressing, drawings of nooses around trees and all of that.
Yeah. And a small thing to add as well that she was letting light into her room as well, because in her bedroom she wasn't really. She kind of had the blinds closed, mirror covered, and all that.
Right. Yeah.
It was a better ambiance in the hospital room with Kate.
It's a completely different shift in tone in Kate.
Yeah. Which is good.
And you learn too that she is going to start work on a children's book against bullying. So this this isn't the last we see of Kate. This is the last we see of, I guess, Kate actual, we'll call her, in the game. But not the last we see of Kate, as well, there's the nightmare sequence Kate's. So, which, do we want to get into now? Anybody have anything else?
Well, Kate can kind of help you out as well. With
right.
Nathan.
Right.
Texting his room number.
Yeah.
To that, and still going back to the hospital scene, I think probably the moment that I knew it was Kate again, instead of just Kate from episode 2, is when she just got out the seat and hugged Max. I was like, yep, that's Kate. That's Kate.
Although, such a...
even though before we do touch on the nightmare sequence, we do see Kate actual again, and that's when we first go through the selfie that you take in episode 1, when you have to comfort Kate.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you get an optional picture of her smiling.
Right. That's true.
Boy, that was the second best scene in the game.
Oh man, I can't believe I missed that picture in the first go around.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, because as every time that I see Kate, I instantly run up towards her, just like in episode 1 when you in the front of the dorms, right before you face Victoria with the paint. I seen Kate from the distance, and I was like, Kate, and I just ran towards her. It's like, hey Kate, are you okay?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like Chloe comes first and Kate comes second.
So you're one of those not Chloe, Max, Kate shippers, whatever they're called?
I don't ship. They're just very good friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking things to extreme levels.
Yeah, what are you doing, Jess?
Don't do
I'm not doing it.
Kate's too pure.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention too, jumping back, is it's not game over if you don't take her phone call. Although, if you don't take her phone call in the diner before you go to the junkyard, the only thing that you can say to her that will make her okay with you not taking a phone call is that your phone was on silent.
There's 2 options, actually.
Is there?
Yeah, just because there was an option where you can say, oh, I thought it was Warren because he's been blowing up my phone lately. Which is true, if you think about it, because earlier on, Joey and I were looking through messages on Max's phone, and it had 344, 344, 344, 345, 346.
Okay,
so there's 2 options.
Yeah.
I don't know, if a boy did that to me, I wouldn't think that was annoying, unless he was like ugly or something.
Warren.
Or no, I like Warren. How do you not like Warren?
Yeah, everyone has a different opinion about Warren. It's
true, and you're a boy, so you probably don't find that cute.
Yeah.
Well, we know who will be leading the episode about Warren.
Leave it to me.
Into that one.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so back to Kate. So yeah, you comfort her, and I did comfort her, but I just didn't think that, like, oh, let me take a picture of this moment. You gotta always take the shot.
Yeah.
If that's one thing I've learned.
Jefferson.
So, do we want to move on to Kate's relationships with different folks then?
I mean, there's a nightmare sequence, but we can kind of touch on that with Max.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you want to start with Max then?
Yeah, let's start with Max, because it seems to be the most significant relationship
right.
with Kate. Before the game starts, Max is initially friends with Kate, because they kind of have their tea sessions, just talk, chat, and all that stuff. You're given the option to ask if she's okay, because they seem on really good terms, from what I know. Because like Kate let her borrow the October Country, just talking to her in kind of good spirits. And even afterwards in the hospital, they were kind of joking around. And it's like, we should probably do a tea session of all the tea shops in Oregon. You should bring Warren. It's like no boys allowed.
Right.
Well,
It just seems they were really good friends. But what Max thinks that Kate is like, she feels guilt, right, in the nightmare sequence, or because if you let her die, which if you do, what's wrong with you? Just like, Max, why did you let me jump? Like, now I've definitely sinned. I'm going to hell thanks to you, which is just all sorts of nope. And when you save her, it's like, Max, why did you save me? Like, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like, I'm gonna be living alone and all that.
Well, she says something along the lines of like, now her family won't leave her alone, which means that she will be truly alone.
Yeah.
Which I took to mean like she won't be able to be out of their sight, which means she won't be able to have friends or build any sort of relationships. It's what I understood that to mean. Right, and then, there's also back in Jefferson's class during the nightmare sequence, with the scrawlings on the desk.
Or if you don't save her, the bloodstains.
Right. Which, God, man, that is some intense stuff. So we've talked about this before. I believe it was actually in the polarized episode that we did. But to go over it again, if you do save her, at one point in the nightmare sequence where her desk would be, there's scribbled all over, or like etched into the wood and the floor, "I want to die," I believe it is.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And if you don't save her, there's just blood.
My God.
Oh,
So,
boy. You never told. It's more like blood, but
I'd be a little bit more okay with wine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the instance of the hidden wine bottle in Kate's room,
Right.
which is, I didn't know about that until today. I was playing through the game again. I kind of went towards the window, kind of turned the camera a bit, and I noticed between two bits of furniture there was a wine bottle. I was like, what the heck?
Right.
Yeah, thanks to the people on Reddit who were telling me about that.
My
You guys
God.
rock.
Which is
back to Kate.
right.
Not
Well,
bad.
it's interesting. It's kind of a bit of a contradiction for what Kate says. That she's not a drinker. She does have wine at communion. She had a glass of wine at the Vortex Club party, which is what the drugs were slipped into. But then you find the bottle of wine there. So I think that clues you into just how much she's going through, that she would even humor that notion.
She may have had the glass of wine in her room, right? But had the water tampered with at the club.
Maybe.
That's interesting. I
Because,
never thought about it like that.
because from what I seen, the bottle seemed quite full.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, it's only a theory.
That's interesting.
We'll never truly get confirmation. Yeah.
Maybe we will in the director's
Yeah, maybe we can ask.
commentary.
Well, yeah, even the developer's commentary, hopefully that'll be interesting.
Right.
Mention that. So, who should we talk about next, relationship-wise?
I guess the next biggest relationship she has is with Victoria, even though it's a bad one.
Yeah. Because she's the one that originally recorded the video and started to spread it around. And even though after Kate's suicide attempt, Victoria seemed to do a complete 180 degrees towards Kate, trying to be nice, dedicating the Everyday Heroes prize to Kate. Even at the end of episode 2, she's crying in her room.
Uh-huh.
Could be showing how truly sorry she felt towards what she did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and there's not really much else to say about it. Even the card in the hospital as well that she sent.
Mm-hmm.
She really is like Kate's biggest antagonist throughout the whole game. Well, okay, throughout the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not the whole game, but
Close enough.
right. So Chloe mentions that she knows Kate. I don't think that they're very close at all. I don't see how they would be close at all. One thing you do see is Kate is at the funeral of Chloe if you choose that ending.
Yeah.
And you see her there, comforting Joyce and William, as well as, being there for Max and for Chloe, I'm sure, too. I mean, Chloe, I feel like just knowing her even just a little bit that they do, Kate is probably mourning the loss. She seems like the type of person that would mourn the loss of someone, even if she just
Didn't know.
Right,
Yeah.
her acquaintances.
I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about her in that ending. Ugh. I mean,
And sorry.
I think it's just the way that you see her slowly walk up towards Joyce and put her hand on Joyce's arm, like just showing like she cares, without saying any words, which was done just right in that ending.
Right. What were you saying, Jess?
I was gonna say, and also in the if you choose to save Kate, the hospital scene, like after Max comes out after visiting Kate, Chloe kind of apologizes for getting all pissed off if you like choose to take her phone call earlier.
Yeah.
And that kind of, even though like they didn't really know like each other well, it kind of shows how like Chloe kind of feels bad, even though like you know what I'm talking about, like.
But basically shouting at Max for taking the phone call.
Exactly, yeah, because she kind of sympathized with Kate and what she was going through.
It's kind of like anyone who's important to Max, Chloe's kind of worth like kind of considering towards caring about, if that makes any sense.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
kind of is on kind of Chloe's good side.
Right, yeah.
It's just like how Nathan and Victoria are on Max's bad side. Even Jefferson.
Yeah.
He was on Max's good side for most of the episode, and then as soon as Max found out and Chloe found out, like they just instantly hated him. But obviously for different reasons. Max for being drugged up and taking pictures of Chloe because of Rachel. So we'll probably go into that more detail in future episodes, or kind of touched on it in the Chloe Rachel episodes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which you can always watch back.
But that brings up a good point, is her involvement with, Kate's involvement with Jefferson. Which, I said probably, I actually, like, her relationship might be more involved with Jefferson than it was with Victoria, because she was essentially acting like, what's the word? It's the, like a teacher's assistant type thing, but not like a TA.
Like a teacher's pet? Or no. Like a... Oh yeah, you could say TA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the equivalent. She was staying around after school to help out with the class planning and all that, which I believe Wells brings up too. If you choose to blame Jefferson, then Wells brings that up, that he should know better than anyone because of how much Kate was helping him out. And then we also see Jefferson kind of turn Kate away when Kate is trying to go to him for help in episode 2.
Yeah. Oof. Just knowing about that is, even if you listen to it, it's like, basically Jefferson said that Kate's making a really big deal of a video.
Right.
And maybe she was seeking for attention.
Right. And that she's brought...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that kind of goes for all of the authority of the Blackwell, because same thing with David. He kind of not turns her away, but like doesn't take her seriously.
Right. And that's probably like the final straw, because the final straw for Kate's attempt on her life is Jefferson turning her away. And, you know, he says that she's made quite a few enemies and it's probably being blown way out of proportion. So he turns her away, and then really you go into the classroom, the class starts, and then that's when the class gets interrupted by Zach, is it?
Yeah, Zach. Just before you see, just after you see Kate,
right,
head towards the dorms, with
right,
David following up behind. You see, there's one thing that I don't get. Right, if David was following Kate, wouldn't you think he'd be able to get to the dorm roof quick enough?
Right?
Because like he was like a couple of trees behind Kate when she was heading towards the dorms, and there's like
snapping pictures.
Yeah, and even though like everyone else somehow got to the dorm before David, it's just crazy to think.
I think he needs to get fired.
Yeah.
Too slow.
He's way too slow. He should be a bus driver.
Funny you should mention that.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, so I take back what I said about, you know, Victoria being the second, I guess, or the second biggest relationship to Kate, because I would say Jefferson's probably the second most.
Yeah. If you think about it. Then, I guess like the most negative relationship with Kate is Nathan, right? Because he's the one that pretty much those Kate said that would take her to the ER, even though just ending up in the dark room.
Right. Right, he's essentially the one that delivered her to Jefferson.
Yeah.
Ugh.
At least he got the dosage right this time.
Right, yeah, at least he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's actually because Jefferson dosed her, and not Jefferson, or not Nathan. Nathan just like put whatever it was in her water or wine that kind of put her out of it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's weird that she didn't recognize Jefferson's voice in the darkroom.
Right.
Yeah.
She only remembered Nathan, but then she remembered the white lights, the softer voice. That she thought she was in the ER, but then she ended up outside her dorm room the next day. Like, pretty much no memory about what happened.
Right.
He could have given her more than he did Max, though. So, like, he could have kept her knocked out the entire time.
Right. I think that is what happened too, because he wanted Max to be somewhat cognizant before.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at the pictures in the darkroom, you can kind of see in some images she's unconscious. The other one, she has no idea where she is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Kate.
So innocent.
Okay. So I guess, you know, Kate also has her bunny Alice. I guess is a notable relationship.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big one as well, because well, not really a big one, but with whatever outcome you have in episode 2, it kind of reflects on Alice in episode 3. Because either way, Alice ends up in Max's room. And, like, Max can either feel sorry for Alice, you know, since she lost Kate, if she jumps, or, you know, just say that, you know, Kate will be home soon.
Right.
All that stuff. It's nice to think about that. You know, that Kate has a nice bunny. The cinnamon bun has a bunny.
Could you say Kate has a good relationship with Warren?
It's not really touched on, but I think we can kind of go into it.
Right.
It's like they kind of talk to each other every now and again.
Yeah, the game doesn't really delve too much into it. I mean, you could easily say they probably do. But I don't think I don't think
I
it's
don't
touched
know.
too much on the game.
I kind of almost feel like she kind of has like a little bit of a crush on Warren, only because in the version, if you save her, like if you choose to save Kate, she kind of seems a little, I don't know, she kind of seems a little curious about Warren, like kind of like, I don't know, like what does she say? Like she says something about like her going out with Warren. Is it like Max going out with Warren or something?
Yeah, I think she thinks that Max is going out with Warren.
Yeah.
Since, they seem to hang out quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Max is obviously going for Chloe. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's personally my playthrough, though, but...
Yeah.
That could be. I won't dismiss it.
Yeah. Could be just like Kate's curious about Max and Warren dating.
Yeah, that's what's so great about the game, is that it's the player's choice who you go for.
Right.
Yeah.
You get to develop all these little, what do they call it, head cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's what you kids are calling it these days.
Yeah, you could say that.
So let's delve into that a little bit more, though, these headcanons and fan theories and all that. Let's talk about what we think the ultimate, should you save Kate and should you choose to sacrifice the Bay, what do you think Kate's ultimate fate is? The fate of Kate.
8 out of 8. I think if you sacrifice Arcadia Bay, there's a slim chance she could have survived, because she did mention that her parents would be picking her up and driving out of Arcadia Bay the next day.
Right.
Could have gave her enough time to get out, or the hospital's pretty much built like a fortress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So there's a slim chance that she can survive. If not, she'll end up dead anyway.
That's why I also feel like it would be pointless if you would save Chloe over Arcadia Bay, because then Kate would die and it would all be for nothing. Like, you would have saved her originally for nothing. Like, how can you live like that?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think is happening. So we don't ever have like absolute confirmation that the hospital is in Arcadia Bay proper either. I mean, if you look at the map, the various maps that you can kind of find of Arcadia Bay, I could be wrong, but I don't think that it's like in the town proper. I think it's on the outskirts of it. I may just be pulling that out of nowhere. I may just be like trying to rationalize this, but I'm going to keep trying to rationalize this. Another thing too is, like Jamie said, if she mentions that her parents are supposed to be picking her up on Friday, so there's a very distinct possibility that she was completely away from Arcadia Bay by the time that the storm hit. So that's what goes on in my head, and that's how I justify what I did.
Yeah.
All right.
in sacrificing Arcadia Bay.
All right, I'll give you that one.
So yeah, I don't know. We'd be if you guys want to tell us, if you folks out there listening want to tell us what you think happened.
Leave it in the comment section below.
Yeah, leave in the comments, tweet it to us.
Yeah.
Love to hear your theories.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Feature them in a future episode of Kate.
Right. Yeah, if there's one that kind of backs me up and helps me rationalize what I did.
He'll print
Don't worry.
it in a book and put it next to his bedside cabinet every night.
You're still a good person, Joey, even though you killed off an entire population.
Hey, it was for Chloe.
It was for Chloe.
Yeah.
But we need to have a whole entire episode of just the ending.
That's actually,
that'll be a good episode for the future anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to Kate.
Third time
about the ending. I know it was good, but we gotta stop. Yeah, I mean, so many like small things that you can find out about Kate. Like, I'm probably there's one thing I kind of like about Don't Nod's attention to detail is the website that you can actually type in if you type in www.katesvid.com.
Right.
And
Square Enix actually made that website.
Yeah.
Right.
and you actually get a page, and it says like copyright Square Enix or Donut 2013, and has like this video was taken down by the user. It's a small thing, but it's nice.
You know what I wonder? I'm sure this could be easily found out by a Google search, but what would be really cool, and maybe folks that were playing, because I came into it about a week before episode 4 came out, but maybe folks that were playing, like, I wonder if, they kind of took the website down after episode 2. That would be really, really, really cool. Viral.
Uh-huh.
It was just an image, really, of a YouTube thing, not
right.
It was an actual YouTube player.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if they did kind of the meta
existed.
thing. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if they were, like, kind of a meta thing that they were doing, like, so up until episode 2 was released, they have this thing up as if it was, like, happening in real life. But then after episode 2 is released, they take it down because the person that made the website in the game would naturally want to take that down, given what happens with Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I don't know if they did
the
that.
events happened 2 years ago.
Right.
In that actual time. Well, 2 to 3 years ago, actually, in 2013. So they could have done that. They could have just left it as it is now.
Either way, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a
Very
nice
cool
dope nod
Easter
to
egg.
Kate Marsh.
Yeah. It makes you feel like you're actually like a part of the game.
Yeah.
And keep that in mind too. Future game writers and developers. If you want our money, make really cool meta Easter eggs.
Or bring Kate Marsh.
Or bring Kate Marsh.
Yes.
And we'll hype it.
It's like Kate Marsh in GTA 6 or something.
Somebody should mod Kate into
Oh, think of all the sinning.
Right, exactly. You could make her fight all the sinning that's going on, and
yeah, it kind of reminds me of I'm not sure if any of everyone out there. There's a certain episode of The Simpsons where Ned's kids, Rod and Todd, are playing a video game where you got to throw Bibles at the heathens. If someone made a Kate Marsh version of that would be amazing.
Oh my god.
that would be quite awesome.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we move to Everyday Heroes, or?
I don't think so.
I think
we pretty much covered it.
Alrighty then. Guess it's time to move on to Everyday Heroes.
Bum, bum,
All right.
bum.
All right.
Okay, so those who are unaware of what Everyday Heroes is, it's a segment that we like to have on the show to appreciate the fan community in different art forms, whether it be cosplay, fan art. The list will expand as we find more stuff, we're able to get permission for songs, videos.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, since it was Kate, it was kind of a vast decision for everybody, I'd say. Because there's so much good artwork of Kate, because everybody loves Kate.
Right.
So, let's start off with Joey this week. So, Joey.
Okay, I'm always excited about the fan art, but this one in particular strikes my fancy. Not to dismiss anybody else's fan art, because it's all wonderful, but I really like the kind of like street art, graffiti type stuff, like art, and it's like outside of this game. I really like that. Seeing good stuff. So this when I saw this, I was like, okay, I know this is made for me. So what we have here is by Miyu Suzuki on DeviantArt. It is entitled Kate Marsh. It is done using stencils and spray paint on canvas. So essentially this whole image of Kate was made with spray paint, using different stencils and, different layers of spray paint on the canvas. And it's, might I say, hella dope.
It's beautiful.
It's so cool.
It kind of reminds me of if you kind of combine the artwork of Andy Warhol and Banksy. It's kind of you get.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just a great combination to see in the community. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it, and I'd have that framed on my wall. I'd rate it 8 out of 8.
Yeah.
8 out of 8 for Kate.
Kate out of Kate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Jamie, your choice is next.
Alrighty, so this one, I got excited when I seen this one. It's titled "Made of Stardust" by Serena Artworks, and the reason it caught my eye was it's just Kate sitting down on some books, looking up into the stars, and right next to her are little bunnies, and it melted my heart so much. I was like, oh, and like she's even like got the violin, just the Kate's expression, the hair. I love hair details, so just seeing this was just amazing. And this the way that the stars are on strings as well.
Right. It kind of captures like the Kate's artwork style in a way.
Yeah.
You know how she because she has the very soothing style. The lighting in this in Made of Stardust is also really, really incredible. The background, it's a phenomenal picture. I don't know. I want to buy it all. I wonder. Should make prints of this stuff.
I think.
All right, artists, make prints of your stuff so I can buy it.
Make prints. I think Serena actually does prints of this artwork in particular. I'm
Does
not
she?
sure. Yeah.
Really?
I'll probably have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'll probably put it in the YouTube description or something. So Jess, you're up.
All right. So I chose Destiny from A Strange Life. Is that what it's called? Yeah. By Cloud Nixus on DeviantArt. And I chose this piece mainly because of the colors. The green was a really, really good choice to use on this drawing, and it really captures like her emotions. I also really like how the shape of it is like in the shape of a cross. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's really religious and bright, like her personality. The outline is really spot on and beautiful and realistic to her actual proportions, but it's also kind of like drawn in the artist style, which is extremely creative on their part. So bravo to them.
Yeah, I mean, we've originally had Cloud Nexus on the show before with a Rachel Amber artwork where instead of the cross, it was some deer antlers, which is really well done. But I like this one because it looks like she's actually coming out of the Polaroids.
It's so cool.
And even though like the lighting makes it, it's like meant to be all happy Kate, she still looks sad, which is kind of shows the struggle of her emotions in the game, which is I really like that about it.
Yeah.
Right. And going back to, what Diane said in our interview is green kind of represents the color green in artwork, kind of represents rebirth and all that. So couldn't be more apropos for our dear Kate. Yeah, I love Cloud Nix's stuff. I love this whole series that they've done on Life is Strange.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So, well, thank you so much, Miyu Suzuki, Serena Artworks, and Cloud Nixus for letting us use your artwork on this episode. Like I said, you guys, let me buy your artwork. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do the announcement?
We've got one thing to do first. If you want to send your artwork for us to use in future episodes, send it via email to blackwellpodcast@hotmail.com. Tweet it to us at blackwellpdcast. You can share it with us on Tumblr as well, blackwellpodcast.tumblr.com. And we have a DeviantArt where we don't post, but we will message you if we do really like your artwork as well. So you'll probably find us there. And now it's time for that announcement. Okay.
Sweet.
It's a vague announcement, but we will go into detail later on about it.
Right.
And we are going to be doing our first giveaway.
Right. So it will be taking place in March, and we have confirmation this will be happening.
Yes.
However, the details will, of course, come out closer to March. Hannah has agreed to let us do a charity raffle for a signed copy of her album when it comes out. So, again, we will have more details the closer we get to it. The charity will be of Hannah's choice, and we'll let you know how much each ticket will be.
I think it'll probably be around $5, right?
Probably. That's probably the price we'll set. We'll let you know the charity that it's going to, and so we'll keep you posted on that. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. We'll try to make sure that we can put it up on other venues, but Twitter will probably be where we have the most details about it.
Mm-hmm. Where we're most active as well.
Right. So look forward to that, guys. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we were excited when we actually got the confirmation that we were gonna do it. I mean,
right.
Yes.
She's so talented too. Like, guys, I don't know if you know. Well, yeah, we talked about it in the interview that her album's coming out. So I don't know. You probably will all be buying it regardless. But I don't know. It's just she's so talented. So.
And speaking about Hannah, that her new music video is coming out this Monday.
Yeah.
Right. So check that out.
Yeah, everyone has to watch it.
I believe it'll be up tomorrow. Since this video will be up tomorrow, the music video will be up tomorrow.
Monday.
Yeah,
Tomorrow, probably.
Yes.
Depends on how quick I get this edited. Yeah, so that's pretty much our episode on Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we there's one thing that I kind of have to touch on before we actually wrap up this episode is Dayan's performance as Kate Marsh.
Bravo!
I can't believe we didn't talk about this, and it just sprung onto me when we mentioned Dayan's name. I was totally mind blank, but we did get a chance to interview Dayan like pretty early on. But her performance as Kate is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Hannah said, the way that Kate was portrayed in the game as not like an exaggerated Christian or what's the word I'm looking for?
Like super close-minded.
Close-minded. It's just an average person who believes in a religion.
Right.
Right? And the
and
way
it's
that
devout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that Dan did it is just amazing.
Right.
Just bravo for that.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
It did amazing.
And if you haven't already, check out that interview to hear what Dayan has to say about her role.
Yeah. It's low quality because it's early on, but it's a good interview. We hope it is anyway. So do you want to wrap it up, or do you want to talk about what we're going to be doing next episode?
Let's talk about next episode real quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, so our next episode is going to be episode 10, which is quite a big milestone for us. Even though we haven't been out, we've been doing an episode every week since episode 2. Yeah, and we were thinking about doing a fan appreciation episode to the Life is Strange community.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably be doing like a very short Q&A at the very beginning about us, but then the rest will be just about fan art that we've talked about in previous episodes, new art that we've seen, anything from the community, we will mention it in this episode.
Right. And if we can track down and get permission to use it and all that, we might have some clips from some of the songs that have been made inspired by Life is Strange, some of the covers. So at the very least, we'll have, very, very honorable mentions as long as we get permission to use it. So expect to be, if you have been a creator of anything Life is Strange related, we're going to be trying hard to get in touch with you this week. Just kind of as like, it is a huge, for us, 10th episode is pretty huge, and we want to dedicate it to Life is Strange fans.
Yes, and since all of you were so kind for us over this past week, we want to give back to you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just awesome. But if we think about it this way, it may be out a little bit later next week because the amount of editing that I'll have to put into it because of video clips, music, all that nonsense. So it may be a bit later, but we will try very, very hard to get it out at a normal time.
Right.
Because if you're thinking about it, this is actually 2 episodes in 1 week.
True. Yeah.
Anyway,
well, folks,
that's it for the Blackwell podcast this week.
Thank you so much for tuning in. make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have something you want to say to us about the episode or the podcast in general, comment it. Email us, tweet us, messages on Tumblr.
Just email us if you have an idea for something for us to talk about as well.
Right.
Because that would be awesome.
And again, thank you all so much
for the past week.
Yeah.
Just listening
definitely.
right now, even if you just found this, just thank you so much for taking the time out of your day just to listen to it. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were just 3 people who liked the game, and but now we do a show for the community. It's just weird to get your head around it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you everybody for letting us continue with this and just appreciating the game and just giving back to the community as much as we can. So thank you for that. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.